Mate, there is absolutely no good segue into this question, but it is a rumor that floats around that you have been abducted by aliens. So I don't know how to segue. I don't know how to include it into a nice flow so it doesn't seem unpredicted. But mate, can you expand on these rumors that seem to be floating around?
And you are wearing a spaceship shirt right now too, coincidentally.
So yes, I have been, to my knowledge, I have been. I met this guy in this airport one time. Long story short, he kind of told me about
This is the good stuff.
Y'all want to go into this?
Mate, I would love to. The fact that this has a legit story behind it is unbelievable.
All right, here we go.
We just said that strength and conditioning books have all got the same thing, same as podcasts, mate. Let's have something different here.
All right. So I was speaking at this conference in Indiana. I took the first flight out at 6 a.m. and I'm sitting in the terminal reading this book called the Bhagavad Gita. It's about Indian spirituality. This dude sits down next to me and goes, "Hey man, that's quite the book for someone like you to be reading." So I instantly closed the book, got real defensive real quick, looked at him, and I was like, "What the hell does that mean?" And he goes, No, I didn't mean it like that. I just, when I was told to come meet you, I wasn't expecting you to be reading that book. And I was like, well, that's odd. That's a very odd thing to say. So then he goes on to tell me about the Hall of Enlightenment, how time traveling. He goes on to predict everything that's going on with all the humans around us, and a bunch of other things. We get on the plane. He goes, "Hey man, do you want to sit next to me?" Sure. So we sit next to each other. It's a Southwest flight. Our numbers were back to back as well, which is really weird for a Southwest flight. I sit between him and his wife, which is the most awkward flight ever. But this dude goes to tell me about he has telepathic abilities. He shows me all these pictures with ghosts and spirits and tells me about his abduction stories, and basically is like, "Hey man, you know if you've been abducted, right?" And I go, "I don't know what to say, man. Like, that is a very random thing to say to another grown-ass man sitting right next to you on an airplane." and he just goes on to tell me, like, you have been, you just haven't understood that they've taken you yet, but the next time they reach out, they're going to make it a lot more noticeable. It's kind of like, well, that's kind of odd. Then he goes on to tell me all his predictions. This was in 2018. He told me about COVID 2 years before it happened. He said, for one, he was telling me about my family, which was really weird because I didn't tell him my name. I had nothing with my name on it. Like, he is an old 60-something-year-old dude. It's not like he follows me on social media, but he talks to me about my wife's bright hair and, our relationship, and we've been married so long. My wife has pink hair, which is odd. And he said that. He's like, "Man, she has really bright pink hair." And I was like, "That's not a good guess. Like, that's pretty spot on." He goes on to tell me about my daughter, all of her personality stuff, really weird. I'm like, this guy is kind of crazy. I'm kind of all over the place, but this story is just weird. And then he goes, "March is a big month for you and your wife, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's our anniversary." And he was like, "Where are you guys traveling this year?" Because we normally travel on our anniversary. And I was like, "Well, we haven't really decided yet." And he was like, "Don't go to Rome March 2020. Whatever you do, stay away from Italy entirely. Something really bad is going to happen, and I can't tell you." Odd, because that's when the COVID situation broke out in Italy. He also predicted all the natural disasters that would happen in America that year, all the big hurricanes. They all happened and hit the specific places that he said. He told me about his predictions for the Pope. He told me about what planet I was from. I'm from a moon outside of Saturn. What did he say? He also said, "What's up, buddy?" He said, "Have you ever questioned why everyone looks similar, but everyone looks different?" And I was like, "Well, it's based off of the sun, that some, populations based on the equator." And he was like, "Absolutely not." He was like, "We all come from separate planets." white people come from this side, Asian people come from this side. And I was just like, my mind is just like, this dude is fucking crazy. And he just goes on and telling me about people and what's going on with their bodies and what he does with his body. And my mind is just going like, this dude is absolutely crazy. I need to get off this plane. And then he goes, do you have anything that no one else in this world knows about so that you know if you're in this dimension or not? And I was like, I literally looked at him and was like, dude, that's the most, you're freaking me out. I said, you're freaking me out. That's the most random thing I think anyone's ever asked me. Of course, I own nothing that no one else knows about. I don't have any family heirlooms. This dude goes on the plane and reaches in his pocket. And I'm like, oh my God, he's about to blow me up. This is it. Like he's about to stab me or he's about to blow this damn plane up. Something's about to happen. He pulls out a container, an Altoids container, and there's a ruby in it. And he said, only you and my wife have ever seen this ruby. And he was like, you need to have something to know if you've been taken. Puts it up, puts it away. I'm like, oh my God, this dude is freaking me out. He says a bunch of other things, tells me about my abductions. He told me that my people have sent him to tell me to be prepared. And I was like, well, how do you know that? And he said, well, let me guess. You just went to the dentist, didn't you? I literally had a root canal 2 days before. And I was like, dude, are you fucking with me? Like, I literally just went to the dentist. And he was like, oh, dude, this is going to happen in the next, he didn't say, oh, dude. He was like, oh wow, Vernon, this is going to happen probably in the next 3 or 4 days. And I was like, wow, that's extremely uncomfortable. So I get off the plane, go about my business. Didn't go about my business. I called my wife frantically freaking out. Take that back.
So into the local hospital.
Yeah. So I'm skateboarding outside, and we have security cameras outside the facility I used to own. They run 24/7. They've never missed anything. And then if they ever do have a power outage, there's like a backup, and then they have a mainframe that's backed up for like 90 days on their side. So there's obviously never anything lost. Well, I'm skateboarding, and I don't remember what happened. I get up, my skateboard's all the way across the parking lot, probably 30 yards away from me. And I get up, and I didn't think anything about it. And I walk inside, and I'm like, y'all, pull up the security cameras. I just ate so much shit on this skateboard. Y'all need to see it. And we pull up the security cameras, and literally it shows the camera go up to it. I have this video, and then it stops, and then it picks up. But the way I get up off the ground, if you were to hit your head, you'd think you'd grab your head or something. But I got up, and I almost looked drunk, like I was stumbling. And there's a big spot of water next to me, which was like really weird. And one of the things the guy said to me, he was like, they always leave a mark. I don't know what made me look at my body, whatever it was, but I was like, man, that's so weird that the security camera's down. So we called the security camera company, and they were like, hey, we've never had this. We really apologize. We hope nothing bad happened. And I was like, man, this is so weird. But I'm still not connecting the dots. I go in the bathroom and I'm changing my clothes. I have a black circle on my butt cheek that's probably the blackest black you've ever seen in your life. And I was like, holy crap, like that is like black. Like that's crazy. That's crazy that it bruised that fast. Didn't think anything about it. I go home and I told my wife, and I'm like, babe, you won't believe how hard I felt today trying to learn how to skateboard. And I was like, check this out. Pull my pants down, it's gone. It's 100% gone. And I was like, what? And she was like, Vernon, it's not funny. Ha ha ha. And I was like, I'm not kidding. There was a spot right here. And she was like, yeah. So whatever. I think I was abducted. Now let's fast forward to actually 2 months ago. No one else has heard this. So I guess this is inside. I get a video message from some dude in India that goes, he sends me like 8 minutes worth of audio recordings on Instagram. I didn't even know you could do that. But he sends me 8 minutes of audio recordings telling me about me telling me about my people, the planet I'm from, what I'm here to do, my purpose on this planet, which is the same stuff the other dude was doing. But I was like, he's reaching out on social media. He could technically look at my social media. So you take that with a grain of salt. But then he sends me a video, and it's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. I wonder if I could pull it up for you guys and show it on my phone. But he shows his hand, and he's wearing the same ruby that other guy had. And he says it in the most creepy way
Sure,
ever.
you're going to show this.
On the ironic, you're wearing the shirt that says "Explore the universe." Whole thing's explore, and you've been abducted by aliens.
I'm dead set got goosebumps. It's unbelievable.
So the story, I'm not exaggerating. The story gets even crazier this past week. So here's
exclusive.
I'm not sure if you can hear the audio of this. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
You want to speak with?
So he sends me this. You guys can see it on the video.
What?
He sends that video.
There is a
video of the
ruby there,
ring.
I can confirm.
All right. So the ruby, and then he says this. Tell me if this is the creepiest thing you've ever heard.
Is that the same stone which that man showed you? Am I correct, my friend?
Oh my God.
Gentlemen.
Let me just put my seatbelt back on.
Guys, when he sent me that is the most. I've been in some really uncomfortable bad spots. That was one of the most uncomfortable spots I've ever been in. And I called my friends that know about this situation, and I was like, yo, this is what this dude just sent me. While I'm talking to them, he's messaging me, stop calling your friends, just call me, talk to me, we need to talk. And then I hung up the phone with that friend, and I called another, and he was like, can you not call another friend and just call me? Dude, the most strange thing ever. So I literally was just like, I can't respond to this guy anymore. This guy is crazy. So then he deletes all of his messages, but I have them saved on my phone. And he goes, be safe, brother. That was the last thing I heard from him. All right. So now fast forward to 2 weeks ago. Two of my best friends, a husband and wife, went and had their tarot cards read, their palm read. At some point, I get brought up. She goes, the palm reader is reading their hands, and something goes, hey, do you have a friend that has she's something like with, I can't remember how it got brought up, but she was like, oh yeah, like your friend that has all those stomach issues. I have a lot of digestive issues. And he was just like, ha ha ha, yeah. And he was like, the guy that's been taken multiple times. And he goes, what? And she was like, yeah, I can see it. I really need to talk to him. I really need to read him and talk to him. But he's been taken multiple times, and they take him all the time at nighttime because she said that they were telling her that they don't take his wife. They let his wife stay asleep. Hey, man, I'm not one to believe a bunch of hocus pocus stuff. But now I have 3 separate situations of people that have no idea about each other that have hit me up about this damn ruby and being abducted. And it is bizarre.
How do you sleep?
Not sleep.
I'm scared I'm going to get a message from an Indian bloke now, and I've been connected to you. Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, kind of rushed through it, but yeah, man, that's it. Like,
so are you going to go see the tarot card reader?
I have to. I mean, I have to, right?
Can you please update us when you do, because I'm enthralled now.
I'm happy to do a part 2.
I'm happy to do a part 2. We don't even ask a question. We just have an update. We might even go Instagram live from the reading.
Yeah. So I have to do that, but yeah, man, like crazy.